I'm gonna do that for you now, financially, if I can get it out. Get it up. Great intro. Nat. So, hang on. That's better. Now that we're branded. Moneybox contacted me via email yesterday and asked me if I'd like to make a quick video for them talking about why I like using the service, which is something I've done before. As you know, I was dubbed maybe one of the most boring people on the internet, but I think Moneybox have decided to throw me a bone because clearly I'm good at this. Alright, a little background. I've been using Moneybox for about 2 years now, and I got into it because I was looking for a way of saving for my future a little bit more easily and in a sort of fun way. Is there a fun way to save for the future? Yes, there is. If you're the most boring man on the internet. Just as a way of saving for my future without putting too much thought into it. And I think savings is something that you can put a lot of thought into, and you can find different investments and you can do a lot of research, or it's something as simple as just putting a certain amount of money away each week or month depending on how you get paid, and if you put it away now you'll have it for the future. That's why I started using Moneybox, and I've had a good experience with it so far. I was going to say up until now. I don't mean this is a bad experience. I mean it's been consistently a good experience. Maybe I sign into it a little bit too often, maybe like 3 times a day. Which is a touch ridiculous, I know, but I do like seeing my savings accounts racking up. It's a nice thing. Moneybox sent me a bunch of questions they wanted me to answer. It says here, Moneybox customers, tell us your story. Video preferred? Video it is. If you'd rather send written responses, then please include a photo. You can have a photo as well. Question number 1. That's my dad ringing. Hello? Alright, bye. Where was I? Question number 1. What's your name? Where do you come from? What do you do for a living? My name is Oliver Rosser. I come from a town called Barry in South Wales, which is 20 minutes outside the capital. And for a living, I am technically self-employed. My family works in childcare, so we've been running the family childcare business as a whole for about 20 years, but more recently I've entered into it about 7 or 8 years ago. And since then, we've just been building it and building it. Question number 2. What are 3 words that you'd use to describe your relationship with money? I was thinking about this yesterday when I first read it, and I thought I'd come up with something catchy like bad, better, best, because I used to be bad at it, and then I got better at it, but I'm still not the best at it. So perhaps I'd go for bad, better, doing alright? That's not quite as catchy, but it is the truth. I used to be very bad with money. I used to spend money on credit cards. If I wanted something online, I'd buy it on a credit card and that would rack up. A few years back, I bought a 125cc moped on a credit card and it took me ages to pay it off. So I didn't used to be very good. I used to see all my money as disposable income and literally dispose of it as quickly and as uselessly as I possibly could. But then I started getting interested in finance and interested in savings and what I could do to make my future better financially. So I started to get better with it and I started putting money aside. And the best part, I'm still not the best with money. I still spend a lot of money that I don't need to spend. And I don't think you can be the best at money. You can't be perfect. There's some things that come up where you need to spend a little more money than you'd hoped. And then there's times where you could afford to put more money into savings. And it's sort of like a little bit of a roller coaster. But I think as long as you're consistent with your goals and you've got some method of putting a small amount away frequently, then you're doing all right. Obviously everybody could do better with a lot of things in life, but yeah, 3 words that describe my relationship with money: bad, better, and getting there, I suppose. Question number 3. What are you or have you been investing towards? At the beginning of the year I opened a lifetime ISA through Moneybox, and I'm not necessarily looking to buy a house at the moment, and I'm not looking to save towards a house for the moment, but what I liked about that specific account is that you can use it as a retirement account as well. Like I said, I'm self-employed. We don't have a pension plan set up through our company, so I'm having to save for my future entirely of my own accord. So I'm putting money where I think is best to put it. I'm not 100% sure I've figured that out fully at the moment, but the lifetime ISA with Moneybox came up as a nice little a nice place to put money, so that when I reach 55, I think that's the limit, you can only take the money out for your first house or if you're 55 years or over. So when I reach 55, if my calculations are correct and I keep investing at the rate that I'm hoping to invest in, I'll have a nice lump sum of money at the end of my working career that I can draw from and hopefully not touch the main pot. I want to be able to live off the returns. I want to live off the interest of what I've got saved rather than having to dip into that savings. And then eventually, leave a nice inheritance for whoever's left at the end of my life, whether it be children or family members like my brother and sister, or nieces and nephews, a wife, who knows. I'm just trying to get a general overall process going so that, when it comes time to retire, I've got enough money to do it more than comfortably. Question 4. What other changes have you made to help you achieve your goal? These tips might help someone else who's looking to save for the same thing as you. I think one of the main things that I started doing was budgeting. So I listened to a guy called Dave Ramsey who does a podcast every day, Monday to Friday. And it's all about savings and investment and what you should do with your money and how the best way to become wealthy and generous. He recommends budgeting. I set up a budget. I don't budget monthly dedicated to the specific month. I just set up a standard budget so that I know that each week when I get paid, I do this with this amount of money, this with this amount of money, leave this amount of money here, and I sort of know where my money's going. So that was one of the best things I started doing, because once you write down on paper what your income is, what your known expenses are, so gas bills, council tax, electricity, rent, all that sort of stuff, then you know what you've got to play with. And so when you know what you've got spare, you can then portion some out to savings, some out to spending, some out to giving. I don't give too much. I set aside a small amount each week for a charity fund. So at the end of the year, I've got a nice little lump sum of money that I can give to people in one way or another, whether it's tipping waiters a little more at Christmas or buying deliberate gifts for people I know that could use them, or even just acts of random kindness, putting a £5 note on a couple of car windshields throughout the neighbourhood. Again, it's only a small amount because I'm not a millionaire yet. Things like that. Budgeting really help because you can see what you've got to work with. Question 5. How has Moneybox helped you on this journey? What's your proudest achievement so far? I've said this before in previous videos. Moneybox has helped me with saving and investing because it takes the money out of my account each week. And I don't have to think about it. I know it's going out at the end of the week, so I just got to make sure I have that amount of money in my account. And it tots up nicely, it keeps stacking up. In fact, I'll show you now. That's my current standing. So my lifetime ISA has got about 2,000 in it. Stocks and shares has only got 20 in it because I recently transferred my stocks and shares into my lifetime ISA to maximize the government bonus advantage. And yeah, this has been effortless. I haven't even thought about it. It's just racking up. Slowly and surely. Slow and steady wins the race. So that's how Moneybox has helped me. It's just made saving easier. If you can automate something, and I think the term is set it and forget it, it takes zero effort at all. I don't have to go to a bank to put money into a savings account or log into my online account to transfer money over. Moneybox just takes it. I like it. Proudest achievement so far? Probably this hat. Probably being sent this hat by Moneybox. Proudest achievement so far was probably paying off all of my credit, and I don't owe anybody any money anymore. I only spend the cash that I have available. If I can't afford to buy it, I can't afford to own it, is my current philosophy. Question number 6. What is your favorite feature on Moneybox and why? Somewhat stupidly, I think my favorite feature is the time machine. It lets you set an amount to see how your savings and investments will do over a 10-year period. I like that because it's nice to see that if you're consistent with your goals, this is what you could achieve. But I also like it because I like to set it a little bit higher than I can afford at the moment, just as a sort of tease of what the future me could be living like. But like I say, at the moment I'm only investing small amounts, relatively small amounts. So my current investment is £20 here, lifetime ISA. So in the future, in 10 years time, I'll be about £22,399 better off. But if you click supercharge, and if you put 50 in, you can see that the amount in 10 years time is double. So I do like the time machine feature. Lets you see, if you play around with your savings, add a little more when you can afford it, you might be able to make a big impact. Small changes here make big changes here. How concise. Question number 7. What is the most important money lesson you've learned? Or, if you could have a gigantic billboard anywhere with a message about money on, metaphorically speaking, getting a message out to millions or billions, what would you say and why? Well, the most important money lesson I've learned, I think, is to not borrow money. It'll probably take less time to save for it than it would to pay off the amount that you've borrowed, because they keep your payments minimum, obviously, so you're racking up the interest and all that sort of stuff. I won't go into detail because I don't know very many details. My most important money lesson: stop borrowing money. If I can't afford to pay for it now, I can't afford to own it. How would I put that on a billboard? If helpful, it can be a someone else's quote. Is there a quote that says something like, from small acorns mighty oaks grow? I'll look that up. Shall I just Google money quotes? Ah, yeah, that's a good one actually. So on my billboard, I'd have a picture of me with a very judgmental face, and the quote would read, "Too many people spend money they don't have to buy things they don't need to impress people they don't really like." Money doesn't make you happy, it's not the be all and end all, but it does offer security, and I don't like the idea of throwing out money for things I don't really need. If I don't get value from something, what's the point in owning it? I'd rather experiences over things, potentially. I do like owning a few things, like my camera, to take pictures of the experiences that I should be having with the money I spent on the camera. But yeah, you get the picture. Don't buy things you don't need with money that you can't really afford to give away to impress other people. Anyway, that's it for me, I suppose. Hopefully that's answered all of Moneybox's questions, and hopefully it's answered a few questions that you might have if you had any questions about this, which I doubt anybody does. I'm going to stop this here, edit it quickly because Moneybox wants this by Friday, which is tomorrow, and then get back to work on my real job. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Bye.